Hello, welcome to episode 2 of Coaching the Coaches. My name's Connor Cunningham. I'm one of the junior of a foundation course in GAA, but I just want to make a couple of points clear that I feel is important. This goes across all codes, all sports. The three things I'm going to be discussing today are perception as a coach, knowledge as a coach, and the third thing is making mistakes as a coach. The first thing is perception. The first thing, in my opinion, you need to do once you've decided that you want to be a coach in any domain and you have been chosen or they've helped you, is to sit down. If you did play yourself, or you did play underage, or you did play even to a senior level, sit down and think about the coaches that coached you. Think about the ones who made you feel 10 foot tall, and think about the ones who made you feel 1 inch tall. You don't want to be the guy who's 1 inch to making them 1 inch tall. You, up until about 17, 18, I think that unless you're at the elite level of sport, which is, your county in Gaelic or in GAA, your elite Man United, Celtic, Chelsea, Liverpool level, or even at cricket or even basketball level. If you're at that elite level, then you have to be a wee bit more shrewd. But that does not give you the reason to be ignorant, to be sloppy, to be rude. You got there more than likely for having good balance, having good ways of giving out information. This isn't the X Factor. This isn't the Voice UK. This isn't some other sort of talk show. You're not taking them in and saying it's not you today. That is not how you build a person. It's not how you build a character, and it's not how you build a footballer. You have to be giving people tools of life. Tools of life is the most important thing that you can coach anyone. A young fella comes through the gate, or a young lady comes through the gate at 6 or 7. If by the time they're 18 they're able to do the skill or the sport well, and they have manners, and they listen, and they're a good balanced person, you've achieved a lot. You and your management team, you and your coaching team have achieved a lot. Even getting them to 18, there's a statistic that 75% of all children quit sport by 14. That's out of order. I don't care who it is, that is out of order and that is wrong. Now, there is obviously cases of children that are forced to come down through the fence. Of course, there's kids who maybe their parents were a good player or their mother was a good player and they would like their child. Every person is different. Every single person is different. But you can still smile at that child. You can still make them feel welcome. You can still help them. That doesn't mean you're less of a coach if you take the weaker kid out and teach them 1 millimeter of a thing. In fact, you're actually a better coach. You're actually tolerant, you're patient, you're not easily angered, you're able to show remorse, you're able to show feelings. That is important to a child. If a child feels comfortable enough to tell you things that you have to act on, as much as that is a very distressing situation, if there's abuse or there's something, the fact they have told you that shows that they trust you. Now, you would have to, due to our protocol, you would have to inform the child protection officer, but the fact that they have felt that shows your character tenfold to somebody who only wants to be seen with the best, only wants to be interested in the best, because that perception rubs off on people. You in my own experiences, sometimes I can use vulgar language. Sometimes I can say things out very quick. But see, when I walk through that gate and I put my jacket on and I put cones out, I need to be 100% perfect, or as perfect as I can be. I can't curse. I can't raise my voice. I need to speak to people in a respectful way. I need to be that person who sets the boundaries. The perception of you is more important than the 1,000 drills that you have in your head. Because you see, if they think you're a soft touch, no matter what age you are, they'll abuse it. You see, if they think that you're too tough, they'll not stand for it. You have to be in the middle. You have to be able to change, but you have to be better than the others. You can't be quick to anger. You can't be, you go over there, you do that. Go and pick up them. You have to use please, thank you. You have to be able to interact with them, engage with them, speak to them on their level. You can't just roll up and say, you can't do this here. Oh, Jesus, now, come on. Now, there's a massive difference in you saying, I know you can do this. I seen you do this last week. Let's just up the tempo a wee bit. Or, if you have 3 or 4 coaches, which some people aren't lucky enough to have, you can say, listen, come to the side here and I'll go through it with you and we'll get a wee bit of speed going. And then you put them back into the group. That's a proper coach. A proper coach doesn't just say, oh, my 1% has to get better. I've been in drills and I've been involved in seasons where the best player maybe hasn't got better, but everyone around him has got better. In my opinion, and this is only my opinion, last year we had 23 players. About 3 of them were very good. But what we did is we figured out and we practiced and we worked hard with the other 20 that needed work and needed help. And once we had built them up, we started adding speed, we started adding endurance, we started adding accuracy. And by the end of the year, them 3 or 4 players, they had got better with their speed, but they might not have got better to the extent of the last 3 or 4 years, but their teammates were better. I've told the players many times that you can't do anything with your teammates. LeBron James said, if you don't want to be part of a team, well then play a sport that doesn't have a team. Play golf, play tennis, play whatever you want, play ping pong, but don't be involved in teams if you're not a team player. That is very important, because you might be the best player in the country, but if you can't play with another 10 players or another 14 players or another, I think cricket's 6 players, you're not going to win anything. The reason that I want my team to be defined and I want my team to be spread out is because whenever we go to play a team and they know that my best player is number 8, if they cover him with 2, that leaves a gap for somebody. So people could say to me, oh, my son hasn't got any better, but there's 20 others that saying that he has got better or she has got better. And that's very important, because whenever you hand them over to the next coach, the next team, the next years, you want to give them a good base, because your perception, as I say, has to be perfect. And see, when something goes wrong, I've had it many times. You have a drill in your head and you think, oh jeez, that is a beautiful drill, I cannot wait to just show that off. And you go up to the pitch, players don't understand it, the players are too complicated, and you just say, oh no. But you can't just go, oh, that's really bad, I can't do that, I can't. That's getting nowhere. The players know you have broke you. There's a battle going on between you and the players. Players give you a chance. Some of them have already made their mind up before you've even come. Their dad maybe has said, or their mum has said, oh, I don't fancy them. Not live filters through to them. But most of them will give you a chance. And see, if you speak to them properly, you engage with them properly, you keep your temper down, you keep your manners down, they will respect you. And then there's players that you can just put a wee card in front of them. Not to get the respect, but to toe the line. But as I say, your perception is so important with how you are as a coach, because no matter what, you're going to work. You're going to work to make players better, and they need to be in an environment where they want to go to work. You see, if you're shouting ahead of people, see if you're engaging with people in the wrong way, you will be interviewed by some father or some mother, but also the player won't be back. See, if you're effing and blind and, oh, you can't do this here, you're just way out the gate. Well, you have one player left by the end of the year, you'll have about 4. And I don't know any Gaelic or football or cricket team that can play with 4. And that is important. You're not shirking your responsibilities, and you're also not belittling yourself. You're just showing them the good side of you, the perception side of you, and the side that they want to come back next week. You see, if you're effing and blind at somebody, they'll go do something else, and that might sound, oh, that's a great idea, get the apple out. But I don't want to be known around my town or around my county as being this real dictator, because I'm dealing with under 13s, dealing with young men, I'm dealing with people who will step out of line, who will curse, who will snigger, who will make fun of people. That's it. We've all been children. We all know what's going on, But as I say, the first topic, make sure your perception is of a better version of you. Second point that I want to make is, do not be afraid with your knowledge, or if you're starting with a blank sheet, do not be afraid to Google, to look online, to look on Twitter, to look on Facebook, whatever it is, and get drills, look at them, break them down, go to matches and watch warm-ups. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You're not trying to come up with a new maths equation. If a drill works for an All-Ireland winning team, for a championship winning team, for a League of Ireland winning team, for a Northern Irish League winning team, that's good enough for you. And you might see it and you'd say, I want to tweak that a wee bit. Nothing wrong with that. Spotting and fixing your own drills. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Do not think that you can't, this is like an English exam or something where you have to come up with your own ideas, or you have to come up with your own ideology. You don't. The best kind of coaches, they go in, they assist the boy for a couple of weeks, they maybe look at him, and you're not ranking them around, but you're literally just saying, I think I could change that a wee bit, I think I could move that over here, I think I would do that first. In my experience, children love shooting drills. Shooting. Children love shooting. Shooting for goals, shooting for points, shooting for goals in the games, shooting for home runs and stuff. If you can make the drill without them knowing complex, you've won. Because you see, with your knowledge, one piece of advice that I would give to any young coaches, do not put cones all over the pitch. You don't play games with cones. You're trying, the whole point of training is for match situations that you're ready. You are ready. If you are doing an exam, if you're driving, you practice that. You don't practice around your car park, because that would just be stupid. You have to practice. So you force have cones. But what I would have done, and what I still do, is I'd put a cone out for the first couple of runs of it, then take the cone away. Let them decide where they want to shoot from. Say we're doing shooting from 25 yard, a couple of players aren't really 25-yard shooters. Take the cone away. One player might take 2 or 3 yards, but that's fine. One player might go back 2 or 3 yards. That's fine too. But the point is to let them think. Let them think on their feet. Let them work and create their own boundaries. Create their own areas of where they know how to score or put it over, or maybe learn, oh, I can score from here. I can give a good pass from here. One example of that would be you in Gaelic and in hurling, where I've primarily coached, and even, well, less so in soccer, but more in football and soccer. You don't just stand. If you're doing a drill and you're 20 metres apart and you're striking the ball back and forth to one another, that's well and good. When do you do that in a match? I've never seen that in a match. I've maybe seen a boy strike it over, he runs on, he flicks it up with his hair, grabs it over the bar with his left hand side, or he turns and puts it over with his right. Or he hears a shout and he puts it into the corner. But we're teaching them stand 20 yards. Oh, great. No challenge, nothing. Just, great. That's great. That's a good warm up. That's a good way of getting your shoulders loosened up. Is that going to help you in a match? No. They'd be safer putting the ball into the ground, let it bounce, put it onto his hurl over the bar or over to somebody else. Take that cone away, let them strike back and forth, let them get a wee bit more flexible. You need to move all the time. The hardest thing that we can coach in Gaelic games is once you hit the ball, you need to move. You're not standing there going, that's a great ball, great job. You have to move. And that's where it really helps you to let the players decide what range they're shooting at, what range they're coming at, where they're moving to, because that shows their intelligence, but it also encourages their intelligence. But as I say, the knowledge, do not be afraid to take other people's knowledge. That's why it's there. Knowledge is only good if it's shared. If you know everything about everything, that's no good unless you share it with people. Sorry about that. The third point, I'm just going to go very quickly, is mistakes. As a coach, you'll make hundreds of mistakes a year. You'll make thousands. And if you're really good, you'll make 10,000s. Because as with coaching, as with playing, as with doing anything in life, mistakes are nearly the best way to learn. You might switch two players and it works really well, or you might disturb the balance and you're like, we lost that match by a point because I put my good player or one of my good players up too high. That's okay. But mistakes will always happen, no matter what. And I don't know of a sport where the champion has been the same team every year for the last 30 years. And that's not dictating that they have made a mistake, but they haven't been as good as the other team, which would nearly counteract that they have made mistakes or they have switched off but they learn from them. The more mistakes you're going to make as an early coach, it'll stay with you. As I say, one example was, and pardon my language for this here, I had only in my first year of coaching, we had just lost a match against Clonduff, I think it was, at the Fela Castlewellan under 14s were playing. One of the players who wasn't brilliant came over and asked me, "Can he be playing?" And I said, "Just stand over there, alright? You're shite anyway." And then his parent came over, and lucky enough, I knew the parent well, or else I would have been probably not here. And he spoke to me, and he says, "How dare you say that to him? That's a disgraceful thing to say." And then I was like, "Oh my God, I'm a dick. I'm completely out of order. I think I'm in a World Cup final. We just lost one match at under 14s in a Fela. They're like 6 minutes aside. We didn't play well that match. I remember it well, but we didn't play well. But that wasn't his fault. That wasn't the parents' fault. That wasn't even the team's fault. You have bad matches. Sometimes you just have bad matches. Sometimes, if I remember right about that, we turned up. It was a wee bit of, just everything was wrong. And that wasn't his fault. But I learned from that. And that's why I was talking about perception at the start. I learned from mistakes that my perception had to be perfect. You have to be perfect. You have to say the right thing at the right time. Or else you're safer talking to the wind. You're safer talking to the goalposts. Because in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, you have their trust, and if you break it, if you don't turn up on time to training, if you don't turn up on time to matches, if you treat other people differently to anybody else on the team, you've lost their trust. And it's lost, and once you lose it, it's very hard to get back. You can't get it back. But that's this week's episode, and keep coaching, and thank you very much. See you next week.